Hello indie game fans, after a little bit of a lull the past couple of weeks, things are really picking up with a significant number of both indie and not so indie releases this week, including some long anticipated titles and a surprise or two, all this and more coming up in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. Let's begin with the turn-based tactics title Rise Eterna, a title that I covered in my video on upcoming games, but noted then that it got delayed with no definite release in sight, so it was a nice surprise to see this finally coming out. Of course, comparisons will be made to Fire Emblem, so it's a high bar to live up to, but with 14 unique characters, a cool look, a dark and mature story and good looking action, this gets on the list but will be Switch exclusive at launch, where I'll be waiting for the PC version myself. If you enjoy puzzle platformers, The Last Shot should be worth a look, taking place in the diesel punk world where you play as an engineer in a city besieged by massive war machines. The description posits the question, will you be the one small cog in the machine that brings it all to a halt? So it's definitely a premise that I can get behind. I love the cartoony art style of this, where the character expressions and the amount of environmental details are a highlight, and I do hope that the puzzles are clever enough and the platforming controls smooth enough to be enjoyable. Speaking of tight controls, a game that will live and die by that is Sockventure, a platformer title where you delve into a cursed washing machine in order to retrieve all the lost socks. Looks good with challenging looking platforming, this will be for fans of the genre. I've mentioned Jin Conception on the channel before, which did hook me with the pixel art, but even more intriguing is that this is a single player social deduction JRPG, so how's that for unique? While it does have the requisite turn-based combat, it also has you trying to figure out who is friend and foe, with one or more traitors in the mix, but the game does have multiple endings and that the traitor character can change from playthrough to playthrough. Never would I have dreamt of a single-player Among Us title wrapped up as a JRPG, so this just shows how innovative indie developers can be, so it gets a spot.
The Endeavor City, a place where the future became reality.
Retro Machina is a title that many of you are looking forward to, but it just missed out on my top 10 best upcoming games of the month, and it's an action-adventure title where you play as a little robot in this retro-futurist world, where something has gone horribly wrong and all the humans have disappeared from the future city, leaving only robotic guardians in their wake.
Comfortable offices, recreation areas, and of course, Modern apartments ideal for you and your entire family. No car is needed in our city. All its parts are connected with high-speed, ultra-quiet top-of-the-line elevators. They will deliver you from your home to work in a matter of seconds, so you won't even be able to finish your morning coffee. And it's only the beginning. The entire city is populated with an army of autonomous robotic helpers. They will do all the cleaning, cooking, and building. They will provide a 24/7 security. And with all the hard work done by these marvelous machines, you could focus on the things that really matter, such as pushing the progress and spending more time with your family.
From the action and art style, I would describe this as Bastion crossed with Machinarium, two outstanding indies in their own right, where one of the gameplay hooks here is that the robot can hack and control other machines, which is then used in combat, exploration, and puzzles. Awesome hand-drawn art style as well, making it one to get for the week.
The future is already here in Endeavor City, the place you will never want to leave. Never leave.
We have a large number of bigger games this week, beginning with GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon, a stylish roguelite action platformer with visuals inspired by classic Japanese paintings, coming to us from, get this, Konami Digital Entertainment. Yes, that same Konami that mentioned it was getting out of games, the same company that stiffed Kojima and Igarashi, and yes, the same Konami that is better known for pachinko and health clubs, who is somehow back in the game. And credit where credit's due, this title does look pretty good indeed. Another example of indie game genres crossing over to larger developers, do check out the best indies that you can play right now in the video linked above. Perhaps the largest mainstream release this week is HUD, Outlaws and Legends, coming to us from Sumo Digital and being published by Focus Home Interactive, which is definitely not indie. It's a PvPvE multiplayer heist title where your party of 4 competes against another such party and against AI guards to pull off the perfect heist, looking like Assassin's Creed meets Robin Hood and should be a pretty decent entry.
You don't know me, but I most certainly know who you are. For such terrific students as yourselves, oh, this should be an easy test, right?
And I thought today would be relaxing.
RWBY Grimm Eclipse Definitive Edition is a stylish hack-and-slash title based on the animated series created by Rooster Teeth, being pretty well received, with the enhanced edition coming to Switch this week.
That definitely got his attention.
The Grimm are a superior species. Their unbridled raw aggression make them the perfect vessel. Nature couldn't make a beast this deadly. So I did.
This guy thinks he's real tough.
Stings a little, doesn't it?
Time to clean this place out. That's gonna leave a mark.
Let's end this with a bang.
made it to 4546B. Landing was a bit rough, but I don't think they spotted me.
We round off larger games with the 1.0 launch of Subnautica Below Zero, the standalone spin-off title of the hugely popular underwater survival game, this time set on another planet with a much icier climate. Play as a character who is searching for their missing sister and will be familiar to fans of the series, but does have its new features as well. Some of you may be surprised to know that Unknown Worlds Entertainment has more than 100 members on staff, with a Chinese company, Perfect World, as its parent company with a controlling stake, so certainly not indie, and it's just something to note that people often skip over. Even among smaller games and ports of the week, we do have a significant number of awesome titles, beginning with the relaxing city builder Before We Leave, getting a Steam version after previously being an Epic exclusive, and with that comes new content in the form of new scenarios, a weather system and even airships, so if you have not gotten this, it's one to pick up. I was instantly sold on the concept of Crime Reaper since it's self-described as murder Sudoku, where you're trying to place tiles on the board to fulfill certain conditions in order to solve crimes, and as someone who loves Sudoku, this gets a spot. CyberpunkdReams is a very interesting text-based RPG set in America in the 2090s, where all the cyberpunk tropes are present and has you playing as a lone wanderer exploring the city. It's a free-to-play title, although I'm not sure what their monetization model is, but for free, perhaps give this a look. The fantastic looking 1-bit strategy title Death Crown gets console ports this week, and having enjoyed the PC version, will be for fans of the genre, assuming that the port quality is there. The first demo of the week is Deck Adventures Prologue, a deck building RPG that uses an asset pack that we have all seen before, but the world map exploration and combat looks good, so do give the demo a go. If you prefer more action in your RPGs, Drova Teaser is a demo for an action-adventure title that looks great, which is inspired by the Gothic series of games, so if you have any fondness for those, give this a look. I like co-op puzzle platformers, so one of interest of the week is Forgotten Spirits, one with a cute art style and some expected puzzles, but should nevertheless be fun with a friend.
Bounty Hunter.
The awesome pixel art run-and-gun platformer HUNTDOWN comes to Steam, again after being an Epic exclusive, and with this comes new features like an arcade mode, so pick it up if you have not.
Double kill. Hunt down.
Strauss had finally done it. After years of occult experimentation, he now commands an army of demons, born from hell itself.
An interesting looking twin-stick shooter is Mad Devils, set in World War II with the occult playing a factor, where a group of 6 elite GI soldiers were killed but resurrected as demons in hell, having to regroup and to fight their way through in order to halt the demonic ambitions of the Nazi regime.
If
we don't close those gateways, this war is as good as lost. My first priority is reassembling the squad. We'll use this portal network against our enemy. To regroup, to recon, to hit Strauss where it hurts. Together, the Mad Devils can take on anything. I know we can.
Men like us.
There's no question we can be done.
But know this. When it's your time, and you cross over, we'll already be there. Waiting for you.
I love Match 3 titles, so the very cute MINICHEF got my attention, being vibrant and colourful with its own take on the genre. If you love third-person action titles, Sherwood Extreme is one to watch, since you have slow-mo, 360, no-scope and more, but in a medieval setting, looking kind of awesome and fun, with there even being online co-op support, and it's a free-to-play title, so do check this out. I have a soft spot for Sokoban style puzzle games since it was one of the first type of games that I got into, so Sokocat Islands gets a mention. A very pleasant and chill-looking construction title is Sunshine Heavy Industries, one that has you building spaceships subject to certain conditions and constraints, balancing budget and ship performance, and does have a nice look. There have been a number of fishing games over the years, where Ultimate Fishing Simulator was a pretty well received one of these from 2018, and the sequel gets a demo version this week. Rounding off smaller games is Underwater Wars, a turn-based tactics title where two powerful factions are vying over control of the seas and its resources, but things take a dramatic twist when aliens get into the mix. The top 5 kicks off with Base 1, a space base builder that simply looks fantastic. I love base builder titles in general, and while the compelling space station builder has eluded me so far, this game looks like it might just fit the bill with a combination of awesome visuals, comprehensive logistics and management systems, as well as intense base defense combat. However, based on the trailer and screenshots, it appears that you're only able to build on a single plane, so no verticality in the construction, which seems like a shame, but I guess we'll have to get hands-on to find out. A no-brainer title for the list is 100 Days Winemaking Simulator, a title previously mentioned when looking at the best upcoming games of the month, and looks like a chill, low-poly management sim where you manage a vineyard. Making wine is as complicated a process as it seems, since so many things can factor into the production, but this game comes with a pleasant soundtrack and wonderful visuals, so I guess you can pour yourself a glass or two of wine and spend a night with this. One of the most interesting indie games that I've had my eye on is Ascension, getting a surprise release this week, so of course I had to show it off. This is a shoot 'em up crossed with a Metroidvania, so that means puzzles, traps and intense boss fights in an interconnected world, with ability or item unlocks that allow you to access new areas. While the minimalist art style may not be for everyone, I quite like the look, where the action does look suitably intense as well. From the description, there are skills, runestone items which can be weapon or key items, as well as general items with basic effects and experience points, so it's a very interesting combination of genres, and as a fan of both of these, this game is of interest to me. A title that may stray into the not-so-indie territory is The Hand of Merlin, since it is being partially developed by Crow Team, yes, the people behind Serious Sam and the Talos Principle, but this time turning their attention to a new genre in a turn-based tactics roguelite. It is one of the most interesting mashups of settings, where Arthurian legend meets sci-fi horror, so if you want to see knights and wizards face off against Phoenix Point-looking enemies, this will be of interest, but do note that this will be an early access title, so there's room to grow. Of course, Lost Ruins takes the #1 spot, as it did in my video previewing the best upcoming games of the month, since this is a pixel art Metroidvania with deliberate combat, which means exactly what you think it does in checking the boxes of things that I love. While it does not have much of a story, using the classic amnesiac setup, the combat and exploration is where it's at, with a variety of weapons, magic, accessories, and even environmental elemental interactions. One of you in the comments mentioned that this looks similar to Momodora, and I would have to agree, especially with the variety of monster girls as bosses. From the trailer, it does look like you can unlock additional game modes which looks to be based on defeated bosses, where protagonist actually takes on that form, so there should be some amount of replayability. As a fan of Metroidvanias, of course this got my attention, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.